Something extraordinary just happened in Ingolstadt, and the reverberations are being felt in Munich and Stuttgart right now. Audi has just unveiled the 2027 Q9, and it's not just another luxury SUV joining an already crowded segment. This is the vehicle that's making BMW executives schedule emergency board meetings and Mercedes engineers tear up their development roadmaps. We're talking about a flagship SUV that delivers 750 horsepower in its top specification, sprints to 60 miles per hour in just 3.2 seconds, and does it all while offering seating for 7 adults in genuine luxury. But here's what really has the competition scrambling. Audi didn't just build a faster SUV. They've fundamentally reimagined what the segment can be, and in doing so, they've exposed critical weaknesses in both the X7 and the GLS that neither BMW nor Mercedes saw coming. Let me put this in perspective for those of us who've been watching the German luxury wars for decades. The last time we saw this level of disruption in the premium segment was when Audi introduced the original Quattro system back in 1980, fundamentally changing how we thought about all-wheel drive performance. The Q9 represents that same kind of paradigm shift, and the numbers tell only part of the story. This isn't about straight-line speed, though the Q9 has that in abundance. This is about Audi solving problems that BMW and Mercedes didn't even realize they had. The engineering story here begins with something called the Premium Platform Electric Plus, or PPE Plus for short. Now, you might be thinking this is just another electric vehicle platform, but that's where Audi has been particularly clever. The Q9 launches with 3 distinct powertrains, and this is crucial. There's a plug-in hybrid system developing 560 horsepower, a mild hybrid inline 6 producing 435 horsepower, and then there's the range-topping SQ9 with its twin-turbo V8 hybrid setup, pushing out those 750 horses I mentioned earlier. But here's what matters. All 3 powertrains share the same fundamental architecture, the same mounting points, the same thermal management systems. Audi has essentially created a universal powertrain strategy that allows them to pivot based on market demands, regulatory requirements, and consumer preferences without redesigning the entire vehicle. Compare this to what BMW is doing with the X7. They're running 3 completely different powertrains on 3 different architectures. The base model uses their modular platform, the plug-in hybrid requires significant structural modifications, and the rumored performance variant needs yet another set of engineering solutions. Mercedes faces similar challenges with the GLS. Both competitors are essentially managing multiple vehicles under one nameplate, with all the cost implications and complexity that entails. Audi has leapfrogged this entirely. One platform, infinite flexibility. That's engineering elegance, and it's exactly the kind of solution that we old-school enthusiasts appreciate because it's fundamentally smart, not just technically impressive. Now let's talk about what that SQ9 powertrain actually does, because the numbers are genuinely staggering. That 750 horsepower figure comes from a 4-liter twin-turbo V8 working in concert with a 170 horsepower electric motor integrated into the 8-speed automatic transmission. But Audi hasn't just bolted an electric motor to a combustion engine and called it innovative. The integration here is sophisticated in ways that suggest they'd learned from every mistake Porsche made with the Cayenne hybrid systems and every success they've had with the e-tron GT. The electric motor provides instant torque fill at low RPM, eliminating turbo lag entirely. We're talking about 738 pound-feet of torque, available from just 1,500 RPM and holding flat until 5,500 RPM. That's a power band wider than some economy cars' entire rev range. The transmission itself is a masterpiece of packaging, incorporating the electric motor, a new torque converter with a wider lockup range, and hydraulic management that Audi claims reduces shift times by 40% compared to the previous generation. For context, that's approaching dual-clutch transmission speeds in a torque converter automatic, which shouldn't be possible in a vehicle weighing nearly 3 tons. But here's where it gets really interesting, and this is something that's going to matter to anyone who actually drives their SUV, rather than just using it as a rolling conference room. Audi has developed a new iteration of their Quattro system specifically for the Q9, and they're calling it Quattro Ultra Performance. The system can vary torque distribution from completely front-wheel drive for maximum efficiency to a 15 to 85 front-rear split when you need maximum traction or dynamic performance. The rear axle itself features a torque vectoring differential that can send up to 100% of rear axle power to either wheel. Now, I know what you're thinking, because I thought the same thing. Torque vectoring has been around for years. BMW has it, Mercedes has it, even some mainstream brands offer it now. But Audi has integrated their system with the hybrid powertrain in a way nobody else has managed. The electric motor can instantaneously adjust output to compensate for weight transfer, body roll, and individual wheel slip faster than any purely mechanical system can respond. They're claiming lateral acceleration figures of 0.95 g on the standard all-season tires and over 1 g on the optional summer performance rubber. For a 3-row SUV weighing 5,800 pounds, those are numbers that would have been considered impossible just 5 years ago, and they're numbers that neither the X7 and 60i nor the Mercedes-AMG GLS 63 can match, despite both vehicles having comparable power figures. The chassis development tells you everything you need to know about Audi's ambitions here. They've equipped the Q9 with a new adaptive air suspension system that uses predictive algorithms and camera-based road scanning to adjust damping rates in real time. But unlike systems from BMW and Mercedes that primarily focus on comfort, Audi has calibrated their system to maintain body control under aggressive driving while still delivering that magic carpet ride quality in comfort mode. The system can lower the vehicle by up to 60 mm at highway speeds for improved aerodynamics and stability, or raise it by 50 mm for off-road capability. And yes, this is a legitimate off-road vehicle when you need it to be, with approach and departure angles that would embarrass a Range Rover. Here's something that's going to resonate with anyone who remembers when German cars were genuinely over-engineered in the best possible way. The Q9 features 4-wheel steering with up to 5 degrees of rear-wheel steering angle. At low speeds, the rear wheels turn opposite to the fronts, effectively shortening the wheelbase and giving this 205-inch-long SUV a turning circle of just 38.4 feet. That's tighter than a standard wheelbase Mercedes E-Class sedan. At higher speeds, the rear wheels turn in the same direction as the fronts, improving stability and making lane changes feel more natural and confident. BMW offers rear-wheel steering on the X7, but with only 3.5 degrees of angle. Mercedes doesn't offer it at all on the GLS. These details matter because they fundamentally change how a vehicle this large behaves in real-world driving conditions. Let's move to the design, and I want to approach this from a functional perspective, rather than just talking about styling. The Q9 sits on Audi's new PPE Plus platform with a wheelbase of 126 inches. That's 4 inches longer than the X7 and 5 inches longer than the GLS. But Audi hasn't just stretched the wheelbase for the sake of interior space. That length is strategic. It allows them to position the battery pack and hybrid components low and centrally in the chassis, achieving a center of gravity that's actually lower than the Audi e-tron DT Sports sedan. In an SUV, think about that for a moment. They've essentially created a 3-row luxury SUV with the weight distribution and center of gravity of a performance car. The exterior design language is evolutionary rather than revolutionary, and that's deliberate. Audi knows their buyers, especially in the 45-plus demographic, want presence and sophistication without being ostentatious. The front end features Audi's new single-frame grille, wider and more imposing than before, but integrated with active shutters that close at highway speeds to improve aerodynamics. The drag coefficient is 0.27, which is remarkable for a vehicle with this much frontal area and ground clearance. For comparison, the X7 comes in at 0.32 and the GLS at 0.35. Those differences translate to real-world efficiency gains of approximately 8 to 10% at highway speeds. The proportions are what really set this apart. Where the X7 can look ungainly from certain angles, and the GLS sometimes appears top-heavy, the Q9 maintains a taut athletic stance that suggests capability without sacrificing elegance. The roofline is 3 inches lower than competitors, achieved through clever interior packaging and seat design that we'll discuss in a moment. The wheel arches are squared off and muscular, accommodating standard 21-inch wheels. With options up to 23 inches, Audi has positioned the wheels at the absolute corners of the vehicle, maximizing both interior space and visual stance. The lighting signature is pure modern Audi, with digital matrix LED headlights, featuring over 1.3 million individual micro-LED elements per lamp. These aren't just bright, they're smart. The system can project lane guidance onto the road surface, highlight pedestrians in low light conditions, and even create personalized welcome animations. But here's the impressive part. Unlike competitors' lighting systems that can be overly complex and expensive to repair, Audi has designed these units to be modular. Individual sections can be replaced without replacing the entire housing, addressing one of the major ownership concerns with modern luxury vehicles. Step inside, and this is where Audi's attention to detail becomes immediately apparent. The interior architecture is completely new, built around what Audi calls their digital stage concept. But before you worry that this is going to be another screen-obsessed interior that abandons physical controls, let me put your mind at ease. Audi has struck a balance here that neither BMW nor Mercedes has managed to achieve. There are 3 displays in the front: a 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster, a 15-inch central touchscreen, and a 10.1-inch screen for climate and comfort functions. But critically, essential functions like climate control, audio volume, and drive mode selection retain physical controls. These are proper switches and knobs with excellent tactile feedback, not capacitive buttons that don't work with gloves. The materials throughout the cabin represent a significant step up from the current Q7 and Q8. We're talking about semi-aniline leather as standard, with full aniline available on higher specifications. The wood trim options include genuine open-pore ash, walnut, and eucalyptus, not the heavily lacquered veneers that have become common in modern luxury vehicles. Audi has even partnered with Italian textile manufacturer Loro Piana to offer a wool blend upholstery option that's both sustainable and genuinely luxurious. The attention to detail extends to elements like the speaker grilled for the available Bang and Olufsen 3D sound system, which are machined from aluminum and feature illuminated accents that respond to audio playback. Seating accommodation is where the longer wheelbase pays immediate dividends. The second row offers 3 seating configurations: a 3-seat bench, a 2-seat captain's chair setup with a console, or a 2-seat lounge configuration with ottomans and a refrigerated console. Even with the third row in use, there's legitimate adult accommodation back there, with 35 inches of legroom. That's 3 inches more than the X7 and 4 inches more than the GLS. The third row isn't just an emergency seating option, it's genuinely usable for adults on longer journeys. And when you fold both the second and third rows, you're looking at 2,500 liters of cargo capacity with a completely flat load floor. But let's talk about what this interior represents from a strategic perspective. BMW has been pushing toward minimalism with the X7, reducing physical controls and emphasizing screen-based interfaces. Mercedes has gone in the opposite direction with the GLS, maintaining traditional controls, but with an interior design language that feels dated compared to their newer models. Audi has threaded the needle between these approaches, creating an interior that feels thoroughly modern and technologically advanced while remaining intuitive and driver-focused. This is exactly what mature luxury buyers want: technology that enhances the experience without demanding that you become a tech expert to use your vehicle. The technology package in the Q9 extends well beyond infotainment and connectivity. Audi has equipped the vehicle with their latest generation of driver assistance systems, branded as Audi Autonomous Intelligent Driving. On highways, the system offers true hands-free driving capability, using a combination of cameras, radar, and lidar to monitor the environment. The system is validated for use in 49 states, with full Level 3 autonomous capability in specific conditions. That means the vehicle takes full legal responsibility for driving tasks when the system is engaged, unlike Level 2 systems from competitors, where the driver maintains legal responsibility at all times. But here's what impresses me more than the autonomous driving capability. Audi has integrated their driver assistance systems in a way that enhances driver engagement rather than replacing it. The adaptive cruise control can be overridden instantly with throttle input. The lane-keeping assistance provides gentle guidance rather than aggressive correction. The blind spot monitoring uses subtle lighting cues in the door trim rather than intrusive warning beeps. These are systems designed by people who actually enjoy driving, not by engineers who view human drivers as a problem to be solved. The technology extends to the hybrid powertrain management system, which is genuinely sophisticated. The vehicle uses predictive energy management, analyzing navigation data to optimize when to use electric power, when to charge the battery, and when to deploy the combustion engine. If you're descending a mountain pass, the system will use regenerative braking to charge the battery. If you're approaching a city center with emission restrictions, it will save electric range for urban driving. If you're merging onto a highway, it will have both power sources ready for maximum acceleration. This isn't just efficiency for efficiency's sake. This is technology that makes the vehicle better to drive in all conditions. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Why has this vehicle caught BMW and Mercedes so completely off guard? The answer lies in market positioning and timing. Both BMW and Mercedes assumed that the ultra-luxury SUV segment would continue to prioritize size and presence over dynamic capability. The X7 and GLS were designed to be imposing, comfortable, and technologically advanced, but neither was engineered with serious performance as a priority. They assumed buyers in this segment valued serenity over sportiness. Audi recognized that assumption was becoming outdated. The modern luxury SUV buyer, particularly in the 45 to 65 age bracket that represents the core market, isn't looking for a vehicle that isolates them from the driving experience. They want something that can handle school runs and family vacations, but that also rewards them when they find a good back road. They want efficiency and environmental responsibility, but aren't willing to sacrifice performance. They want technology that enhances their lives without adding complexity. The Q9 delivers all of this in a package that's more cohesive than anything BMW or Mercedes currently offers. The competitive response has been telling. BMW has accelerated development of the next generation X7, moving the launch forward by 6 months according to industry sources. They're reportedly scrambling to integrate more electrification into the platform and improve the chassis dynamics. Mercedes is taking a different approach, focusing on the next GLS to emphasize luxury and technology, rather than trying to match Audi's performance capability. Both strategies have merit, but both also represent reactive rather than proactive product planning. Audi has seized the initiative in this segment, and that initiative will be difficult for competitors to regain. Let's talk about pricing, because this is where Audi has made some genuinely strategic decisions. The base Q9 with the mild hybrid inline-6 starts at $98,500 in the United States. That's positioned almost exactly between the X7 xDrive 40i at $82,300 and the X7 and 60i at $107,900. It's below the base GLS 450 at $102,400. But here's the critical detail. That base Q9 comes standard with features that require expensive option packages on competitors. Adaptive air suspension is standard. The advanced driver assistance package is standard. The digital cockpit is standard. Matrix LED headlights are standard. When you equip an X7 or GLS to the same level, you're looking at $110,000 to $115,000. Audi has effectively undercut the competition on value while delivering a more advanced product. The plug-in hybrid Q9 TSI starts at $112,800, positioned against plug-in variants from BMW and Mercedes that cost $8,000 to $12,000 more when comparably equipped. And then there's the SQ9, starting at $138,600. That's expensive, certainly, but it's $11,000 less than a comparably equipped X7 and 60i and $18,000 less than a Mercedes-AMG GLS 63. For a vehicle that's faster, more efficient, and more technologically advanced, that's remarkable positioning. But pricing is only part of the value equation. Audi has made significant investments in reducing long-term ownership costs, something that resonates strongly with financially savvy buyers. The hybrid systems carry an 8-year, 100,000-mile warranty. The battery in plug-in hybrid models is guaranteed to retain 70% capacity for 10 years or 150,000 miles. Service intervals have been extended to 15,000 miles or 1 year. Audi is also offering a comprehensive maintenance package that covers all scheduled service for the first 6 years or 75,000 miles, included in the purchase price. These aren't just minor details. These are significant value additions that reduce total cost of ownership substantially compared to competitors. Residual value projections are equally impressive. Industry analysts are predicting the Q9 will retain 52 to 55% of its original value after 3 years and 36,000 miles. That's comparable to a Porsche Cayenne and significantly better than the X7 at 47% or the GLS at 45%. For buyers who trade vehicles every 3 to 4 years, that difference in residual value can amount to $10,000 to $15,000 in real money. Again, this is strategic thinking from Audi, understanding that their target buyers are analyzing total cost of ownership, not just purchase price. The Q9 also arrives at an interesting moment in the regulatory landscape. European emission regulations are becoming increasingly stringent, with new standards taking effect in 2025 that effectively mandate some form of electrification for vehicles in this class. The United States is implementing similar requirements, though with a longer timeline. Audi has built the Q9 to meet regulations through 2030 without requiring significant modifications. Both BMW and Mercedes will need to substantially revise their SUV platforms within the next 2 to 3 years to remain compliant. That means investments in new tooling, new validation, new parts sourcing. Audi has avoided this entire expense by building future compliance into the Q9 from day one. From a brand perspective, the Q9 represents something larger than just a new product. This is Audi asserting themselves as the technology leader among German luxury manufacturers. For years, BMW held that position through driving dynamics. Mercedes claimed it through luxury and prestige. Audi has positioned themselves as the thinking person's choice, the brand for buyers who want the latest technology integrated thoughtfully, rather than simply added for marketing purposes. The Q9 embodies that positioning perfectly. There are some concerns worth addressing honestly. The complexity of the hybrid systems raises questions about long-term reliability. Audi has an uneven reliability record historically, particularly with advanced technology systems. The company seems aware of this reputation and has taken steps to address it, including more conservative engineering tolerances and extended testing programs. But only time will tell whether these efforts prove successful. The infotainment system, while excellent in most respects, still relies on touchscreen inputs for some functions that would be better served by physical controls. And despite Audi's efforts to create a driver-focused vehicle, the Q9 still weighs nearly 3 tons. Physics applies to everyone, and no amount of engineering wizardry can fully overcome that fundamental challenge. But these concerns are relatively minor in the context of what Audi has achieved here. The Q9 represents a genuine leap forward for the luxury SUV segment, delivering capabilities that simply weren't available in a 3-row package before. It's faster than vehicles that cost $50,000 more. It's more efficient than vehicles half its size. It's more technologically advanced than anything currently in production. And it does all of this while remaining genuinely usable as a daily driver and family vehicle. The response from the enthusiast community has been overwhelmingly positive, particularly among buyers who remember when Audi was genuinely innovative rather than playing catch-up to BMW and Mercedes. There's a sense that Audi has recaptured something that's been missing from the brand for years. That combination of technical excellence, understated design, and real-world capability that made vehicles like the original Quattro, the B5 S4, and the C5 RS6 so special. The Q9 feels like a worthy successor to that legacy. Looking at the broader competitive landscape, it's clear that Audi has created some significant challenges for their rivals. BMW can't simply respond with more power or sportier handling, because the Q9 already delivers both. Mercedes can't compete purely on luxury and technology, because Audi has matched or exceeded them in both areas while adding genuine performance capability. Both competitors will need to fundamentally rethink their approaches to this segment, and that takes time and substantial investment. The timing of the Q9's launch is also strategic. The vehicle arrives just as a new generation of luxury SUV buyers enters the market. These are buyers who grew up with performance cars, who understand and appreciate advanced technology, and who have the financial resources to purchase at the top of the segment. They're not impressed by badge prestige alone. They want substantive capability and genuine innovation. The Q9 delivers exactly what this demographic wants. So what does all of this mean for the future of the luxury SUV segment? The Q9 has fundamentally raised the bar for what buyers can expect in a 3-row premium SUV. Performance that was once exclusive to 2-row sports SUVs is now available with genuine 7-passenger capability. Technology that seemed years away has arrived in production form. Efficiency levels that required pure electric powertrains are now achievable with sophisticated hybrid systems. BMW and Mercedes will have to respond, but their responses will be reactive rather than proactive. And in the automotive industry, being reactive rather than proactive is a dangerous position. The 2027 Audi Q9 isn't just another entry in the luxury SUV segment. It's a statement of intent from Audi, a declaration that they're no longer content to follow BMW and Mercedes. They're ready to lead, and they've created a vehicle that backs up that ambition with substance. For enthusiasts like us who've been watching the German luxury wars for decades, this is exactly the kind of competition that makes the industry better. It forces everyone to raise their game, to innovate rather than iterate, to take genuine risks rather than playing it safe. The Q9 has done exactly that, and the entire segment will be better for it. The question now isn't whether BMW and Mercedes will respond. They have no choice but to respond. The question is whether they can create something that matches what Audi has achieved here, and whether they can do it before Audi establishes the Q9 as the definitive vehicle in this segment. Based on what we're seeing from Ingolstadt right now, that's going to be a significant challenge. Audi has the lead, they have momentum, and most importantly, they have a vehicle that genuinely deserves to be considered the benchmark in the luxury SUV segment. That's something we haven't been able to say about an Audi product in quite some time, and it's genuinely exciting to see them back at the top of their game.